Welcome in, everybody, to another episode of 410 Sports Talk. I'm James Haskell, along with my co-host Glenn Martin. Glenn, did you see how this went from live 0 to live for 2.5 minutes? Do you see that
It still says 20 seconds to me.
That's wild. Mine says we've been live for 2.5 minutes. Anyway, all that being said, we're super excited to be here. The Ravens had an extended break. We decided to do the same based on the fact that we had been sprinting because we had 3 games in 11 days. So We're excited to be back on the mics, talk about our Baltimore Ravens, get you guys prepped for week 18 and the postseason, which, all of those things we'll be talking about tonight. Of course, we'll still have our preview show as well. We'll be doing that tomorrow night, so be sure to tune in. But ladies and gentlemen, before we get any further, we've got to talk about our great sponsor, BetOnline. Glenn, what's going on over there, man?
Yeah, well, BetOnline continues to be the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting. From the earliest odds to in-game live betting, BetOnline provides you with all the action and the ability to watch and bet on the games as they happen. Has the largest selection of odds from everything from NFL, NBA, college basketball, NHL, UFC. They got it all. Head to BetOnline today and don't forget to use promo code BLEAV. That's BLEAV for your welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, the game starts here. And Jimbo, I know, man, I could not be more ready for a playoff run than I am this season. We were talking pre-show, and we're gonna certainly raise some of these questions on the air about kind of comparing how we feel this year going into last year. I'm really kind of excited to see what everybody in the chat's saying, because it's hard to try and put yourself back in that mindset last year. But I think some people do feel a little more confident this year. Others might feel not as confident. So it's kind of be fun to talk about. But also the big thing, like you said, let's get into this playoff bracket. Let's find out what's all the potential matchups in the first round and beyond, and see what this can. I mean, it's crazy to think that the Bengals, the damn Bengals, can still find a way to squeeze in after just that abysmal start to the season. But yeah, I can't wait, Jimbo. Let's get into it.
Yeah, no, for sure. And to your point, Glenn, it's crazy how 3 games and going 3-0 will absolutely change the narrative around your team nationwide. Like even for us, it changed our narrative, right? Just to have that vote of confidence to go in and go, okay, we ate the Giants for an appetizer. We get to the main course with the Steelers and absolutely obliterate them. And then, of course, for our dessert, we dominate the Texans, right? And all that happens so fast. And now the national media is like, oh, crap. So to your point, about what you were talking about between last year's team and this year's team, while record-wise we were better last year, there's some real things that are going on here that I think other teams know that have them hesitant. Lamar Jackson is playing the best football of his life. He's playing better football than last year. That's a problem for other teams. Yeah. We have the first or second best running back in the NFL right now, and certainly the best second half closer when it comes to running backs. And coupled with him, while they're not the best offensive line in the league, we have a healthy offensive line. The same 5 that we've had are you know what I mean? Right. So, I mean, I wasn't week 1, of course, because Voorhees really lost the job for the most part after he got hurt. He lost it. He didn't get it back. But I think we have a lot of health in our corner. I know that obviously no team's perfect. We have some nicks and bangs and bruises and things, but and then the defense is just looking absolutely excellent, right? So all those things being said, and then Justin Tucker is coming around, man.
Yeah, I know you're a lot more confident. I still have my doubts and need to be proven a little bit when it matters most. But hey, he's done all that he can do to make people feel a little better in the last 3 games, going 11 for 11. So you can't complain. But I can't wait for this run. It's almost like, do I feel better about this team, or do I feel better about the competition around the league? Maybe taking a bit of a step back from years prior, because maybe the Chiefs to me look, because the Chiefs to me look so vulnerable compared to years past, and we already know what we did to the Bills and other of the top playoff teams. It's been easy work, Jimbo. So
right, how crazy is it that if things stand as is, we will have played every potential opponent already this year? I don't know how many times that's happened.
That is crazy. And the fact that we beat all of them except for the Chiefs.
Yeah. It's what, dude. I tell you what, man, Oh, geez. We are locked and loaded, prime for a run. You're absolutely right. But yeah, let's go through some scenarios to kind of talk about potential matchups. As you guys see on the screen, as it stands, the Chiefs have number 1 seed. So I'll go from 1 to 7 in the matchups. The 2nd seed, of course, it belongs to the Bills right now. Right now, we have the 3rd seed. If things stay as they are, the 4th seed are the putrid Houston Texans, who are in the worst division. They're 9-7. And then the 5th seed is the Pittsburgh Steelers. 6th is the Los Angeles Chargers. 7th is the Denver Broncos. But as we know, there's still a week of football to be played. Yep. So let's run through some of these matchups here, see how things change. We'll say the Ravens are going to beat the Browns. Now, let's get right to it, Glenn. What happens here? I know where I'm going.
So first and foremost, I will say, and we're going to get more into this when we do our preview show tomorrow, but the Ravens got no favors given with the to be announced times of when these games were to be played. Most assumed that the league would do things in fair fashion and assign equal play time starts for both these matchups. But no, the Ravens get the short end of the stick. They're forced to play first, which means they have to play their starters, have to commit to winning. If the games were reversed, then there could be a potential where the Ravens already know they have it locked up and they could have rested their starters. But no, that's not the case. So the Bengals and Steelers will already know what the cost is of this game, especially the Steelers. They'll know if they have to win, if they have nothing to play for. They could, in theory, lay down and allow the Bengals to win because they might not have anything to play for, Jimbo. They might be locked into that 6th spot. So for that reason, I'm going to say that the Bengals win because I think that we are going to beat the Browns, and I think the Steelers will have nothing to play for, therefore benching most of their key contributors and not worrying about playing the spoiler because they know they're the 6th seed.
Interesting. You're killing me here, Glenn.
Oh, and by the way, Happy New Year to everybody in the chat. Yeah. I hope everyone had a fantastic, safe celebration last night, New Year's Eve. And, man, can't wait to see what 2025 has in store for us.
Oh, dude, best year yet, baby. Best year yet. You know what, really quickly. So I put my whole year on a calendar. And I try and have every year a year-defining event.
Okay.
Like in 2024, I did X, right? 2025, I will have done X. And it doesn't always have to be, as you can imagine, whether it's a race or something else. It can be anything, right?
Okay.
But dude, Tanya and I were going through it this year. So this year we plan 6 family mini adventures. It could be something as small as going to the museum, right? Like just something different that we don't normally do.
Yeah, I like that.
And then 4, so once a quarter, things that like I might want to do just myself, like not including Tanya or the kids, right? And then she obviously has her 4, right? I'm getting excited, dude. Getting really excited for the family adventures. Getting excited for I don't know what my year-defining event is yet, though, Glenn. That's the thing. I don't know what it's gonna be.
We got that camping trip, dude. We got to knock out, bro.
Yeah, dude. You know that's gonna be on the calendar. Look, you know it might be a trip to the old Super Bowl.
You know what I'm saying?
Might be a trip to the old Super Bowl.
Let's run there, dude. Run right to New Orleans.
Right down to New Orleans. I don't know if we get there in time.
That's true. You might.
Dude, if the Super Bowl's on the line, I'm not stopping.
I know, right?
Like, woo. But anyway, all that being said, to your point, I get excited about this time of year because it's cold out, but I get the juice going, and I'm really excited to rock this year up. But all right, so you think the Bengals win because the Steelers know they have nothing left. They're stuck at 6.
And also, more importantly, the Bengals will see we have a shot. And I think the Bengals, anyway, even at if both teams are at their best, I think the Bengals win.
This is my only counter to your point. That means that the Steelers will go into the playoffs 0-4 in their last 4 weeks.
I mean, look, they're already 0-3. I don't think Tomlin's like, we need this one.
You don't think it does anything for them if they go in there and get a win going into the playoffs?
I mean, it doesn't hurt, but I think what's more risky is playing starters and then risk their health. Like, you're not going to play TJ Watt, who's an ankle injury, you know?
That's fair. All right, well, I was going to it's funny because all that aside, I was going to say the Bengals win no matter what because I think they're just a hot team right now, and I don't think the Steelers have the firepower to keep up with them.
Right, yeah. They're a mess.
Yeah, so, all right, we both agree anyway. We just kind of came to that point differently. The Texans will win because their division is garbage, right? They're in a division that is terrible. Now, I guess this is one thing I better figure out here. They last week kind of screwed the Falcons, right?
I think they're in trouble. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Because they had to. Yeah,
Actually, I have it up.
Let's see.
I have it up here. So for the NFC, is there as much on the line here? Let's see.
Right.
Looks like the NFC is done. It's already locked up, and Atlanta's out. So,
okay.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Atlanta and Tampa Bay are the last two competing. They need to win Atlanta, and they need Tampa to lose. That's their only chance of getting in. And that's
so Tampa wins
division.
then because they got to win.
And New Orleans is garbage. So
yeah,
yes.
yeah. And Baker's been playing some football, dude.
He's been balling, bro. I love. You know what I love now, Jimbo? I turn on every now and then when I'm scrolling through social medias, I'll click on like other fan bases, reaction videos or comment just to get a gauge of what they feel. I love now. I'll click on a Browns video and they are furious that the team got rid of Baker. They were like, we finally got a franchise quarterback and we let him leave and commit the worst trade in the history of sports. Like, I love that now. They're like, we had our guy. It was Baker. They hated Baker when
they ran him out of town, right?
It's like his ass out of town.
Right. You guys finally get what you want, man. Toxic, dude. Toxic. Grass isn't always greener on the other side, guys. Just remember
and Baker
that.
Couldn't be happier, you know?
Oh, absolutely, man. Absolutely. Okay. All right. So let's keep going here. The Colts will win. The Commanders will win.
Dude, that Vikings-Lions game, Jimbo?
Oh, I know. It's going to be a lot of fun. Now, I don't know if this matters. I guess it doesn't matter, right? The Eagles can rest or not.
He's not going for the rushing title. They said they're gonna rest Saquon for the playoffs.
How many yards is he short?
Not like 100, I think.
No, I wouldn't.
Bro, that's one shot at a record that could potentially never be broken again. You got one shot.
If he's Saquon, he feels like he can just do it again next year. I know what you mean, but you know what I'm saying?
This is special.
Yeah.
I mean, I just want him to stick it to the Giants so bad, Jimbo. Like,
I guess that's true too.
You know, just let him do it just to crush the Giants, man.
Now, what about this one though? I mean, they don't have anything to play for, so we say Denver wins, right?
Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Now remember, in this side or in the AFC, the only thing left up for discussion is Denver going to make it, or are they going to fall out, and Miami or Cincinnati can pass them?
Right.
That's it. That's it. So what did you have Miami doing?
Miami, I said wins because they have to, and if the Jets are garbage.
Although they are starting Tyler Huntley again this week, and not Tua, as he's still recovering from I don't even know what.
Man. This is pure comedy, okay? I don't actually mean this. I hope that Tua doesn't get hurt. But do you think when Tua gets a concussion, he can spell his last name?
No, there's no chance. I don't think he can say his last name when he gets a concussion. There's no chance. Let's see here what Bragging Rights Sports says. Even if the Steelers lose to the Bengals, I wouldn't be surprised that the Chargers would rest starters. Why? I feel like Jim Harbaugh and a bunch of those players, including Khalil Mack, might want to come back here next week badly. So
they don't want to come back here. Bragging Rights, trust me.
Well, what's their other option? Where are they currently slated to go?
Oh, they'd much rather go to the Texans.
There isn't even a doubt in my. Nobody is scared of the Texans. Nobody.
No, and if that's the matchup, they're coming out of that.
Yeah, they're beating them.
Yeah.
Easily. Houston is down bad right now. I mean, the Ravens really took all their confidence.
And on top of that, if you can get after them, we already saw how bad it was, how detrimental it was to their offense, the pass rush of the Ravens. Because he holds on to the football, their offensive line is not good. And so, I mean, we know that the Chargers got guys that can get after it. So,
let's say just for let's just see what happened. Let's pick the Raiders to win. Let's say they do bench their starters.
All right,
the Raiders beat the Chargers, and let's say the Steelers beat the Bengals. Does that change anything?
Yeah. So, even if the Bengals win this or lose, if I'm not mistaken, I think this stays the same. But if this does change, if the you see here, I changed it to a loss.
Yeah.
So the Raiders won. and they're back in Baltimore. Which
Now, is
they
that
do not want.
whether so Pittsburgh winning doesn't change that
Yeah, so
either?
Pittsburgh wins. Yep, still doesn't change it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Well, hey, I mean, I guess it's not out of the realm of possibility that a scrappy Raiders team with nothing to lose goes
Yeah.
out there and pulls off I mean, it's a division matchup at home.
Yeah, I don't see it happening, but it's obviously, like you said, it's not out of the realm of possibility. We've seen crazier things. Now, who are you picking for Minnesota, Detroit? Just because I'm curious.
Man, that's a toughie. I'm going to go with the home team. I'm going to go with Detroit. I think they're the best. They've been the best team all year as far in that division. But man, I wouldn't be shocked at all to see Minnesota win, man. They're
It's
playing
funny
good.
because I think Minnesota wins.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna see.
It's going to be a fun game for sure.
So is that the only two possibilities, Jimbo, that we could have as an opponent? Is there any way Pittsburgh comes to Baltimore?
Right. Well, yes, there is. So
Okay.
if there is a way that I believe there's a way that they can.
What happens if the Ravens lose?
Here we go. Hold on. So if the Ravens lose and the Steel, there. Okay.
So we lose the division if they win. Okay. Now let's say click that. Yep. Let's see. There it is. Okay. So if we lose and the Steelers lose, and is that the Chargers losing as well?
And the Chargers lose. Yeah.
Chargers
and the
win.
Chargers win. Sorry.
Then so it could very easily, not crazy at all, that it could be either Pittsburgh, the Chargers, or
The Texans. The Texans.
I mean,
now what has to happen for the Bengals to get in?
Oh, hold up. How would the Texans lose? How would the Texans come here? Who would win their division?
No. We would go to. Sorry, I thought you were saying as opponents.
I see what you're saying. We would go to Houston.
We would go to
Gotcha.
Houston.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the
so we could end up the 3rd seed, the 5th seed, or the 6th seed, essentially.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Now, what scenario would it have to be that?
Comment.
Oh, what happened?
I just said appreciate the comment, bragging rights. That's all. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. Okay. What scenario would it have to be for the Bengals to get in? Okay, Kansas City would have to lose. There it is, right there. That's all it really is. If Kansas City loses and the Bengals win, they're in.
Nah, but they need anything else? Click us to win.
Yeah. I have us winning.
And then what about the Indy game?
Okay, hold on. I switched Miami. Oh.
So they need Miami to lose.
Yeah, but the Chargers doesn't matter.
Okay, so put Miami to lose. Put the Jets winning. Now, what about the Indianapolis game?
Doesn't matter. I think they're out.
So put Indy to win? Did you already pick Indy to win?
Yeah, Indy was already winning. I just changed it.
So in order for Indy to get in, they need Cincinnati to lose.
Aren't they out now? Because since they lost, I believe they're officially eliminated.
Oh, Miami.
Right?
You're right. It's only Miami and Cincy. Okay.
Yeah.
So does Cincy win and Miami win? Who's in?
Miami.
So Cincinnati needs to win, and they need Miami to lose.
To lose.
Is that it? Or do they need
something else? They need the Broncos to lose.
Okay.
Which is really the most unlikely, probably.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. I mean, the Jets might be able to pull off an upset over a Tyler Huntley-led Miami Dolphins team. They only scored 10 points last week, right? And won?
Yeah.
It was something bad.
Now,
well, how about this? Antonio Smith says, do you think Cincinnati can go on a run if they get in? So let's put it up there. Let's put up there how it is.
Okay.
Can Cincinnati go to Buffalo and knock off the Bills, Jimbo?
So I think it's a bad matchup for Cincinnati in this game. I do. The reason I think it's a bad matchup is it's offense on offense here. Cincinnati's offense is explosive, to say the least. But I think their issue is if they can't stop a nosebleed, at least from what I've seen, right? Like they struggle in a lot of ways. Now, they looked okay against the Chargers, but it's the Chargers offense. So I think if they're up against another high-powered offense that they can't like get out and get ahead of and really smother that team, I just don't think it's a great matchup. Buffalo's at home. I think that Buffalo does win this one. So I just think it's a matter of a bad matchup. Like if they were going to Pitt or if they were going to even Kansas City, if somehow they were seeing Kansas City in the first round or something like that, I would feel better about it. I just, Buffalo's offense can put points on the board and put points on the board in bunches, just like the Bengals. So I think to your answer, Antonio, in a million words, yes, they can go on a run. I think that, but I worry about their defense if I'm a Bengals fan.
Yeah, now they did seem to snap out of it to some degree. Their defense the last few weeks playing a lot better, but they've also had some marginal opponents in there.
Yeah.
On a question if they've been really pushed by a good team. But
Right.
I think it's possible they could definitely go on a run with that offense, that quarterback playing the way they are. It's certainly possible. They could just flat out outscore you. They could beat the Bills 45-42.
Yep.
Anybody would be shocked, but they can't win anyway. Like a great team can win any type of game. They can win a shootout. They can win a defensive juggernaut. They can win in the rain. They can win on a beautiful day. They can win in the snow. I don't think they're a great team, but I do think they could win a shootout if need be. Yep.
Yeah. Now the other thing I will say, let's say that they do lose and they end up, or the Chiefs lose and they end up out of the playoffs. Let's see. I don't know if I think you would agree with this. I think Buffalo would much rather see Denver than the Bengals.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Even though they are the opposite, they're a defensive-led team with kind of a scrappy young offense. I don't think that offense is good enough to scare anyone in the playoffs.
Yeah, no, I agree. And Don C, shout out as always, bringing the memberships. We appreciate that, and hopefully you guys are getting a lot of value out of that and enjoying it. And we appreciate you, Don C, for doing that. So thank you very much.
Yeah,
that
buddy.
is awesome. Yeah, no, but that's an interesting matchup. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about the playoffs as a whole, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to dig into it. Of course, this is a Ravens show, but it's fun at this time of year to look at all of it.
Yeah.
And say where we think some potential upsets could be and kind of how we see this thing shaking out. We get to look into our crystal ball a little bit because, like I said, tomorrow's going to be a preview show. So I want to take some time tonight to look at the playoffs as a whole. But Seeking King of the Seas says Ravens going straight to the Super Bowl. Believe it. Yes, sir. I love
12 years, Jimbo. It's perfect time.
That's right. 100%. Oh man, I cannot wait. There's a lot of, like I said, there's a lot of reasons why the Ravens have a lot to look forward to, and other teams should be nervous.
I like this one. This is an interesting comment here, Jimbo. Massey says, please explain why it's difficult to win 3 playoff games. I got roasted on Reddit for suggesting the Ravens should rest starters. Ravens can win 3 anywhere. What's your take on the Ravens should look at this game as a game to get healthy and not really worry about guaranteeing a home playoff win?
Yeah, we talked about this off air, haven't we? Because you'd almost rather just go to Houston and just do it all, run it back, right? Like, I mean, are you really scared of Houston? You think that they have any confidence playing us? No.
Well, I guess because the question is there any chance at multiple home playoff games? Is there any chance that both Denver, I mean, both Buffalo.
Is the juice worth the squeeze, right? Because you're only getting one.
Right, yeah.
And
I mean, unless the Bengals somehow get in, they beat Buffalo, then they beat Kansas City.
Yeah, but look, you said it too. There's a possibility the Buffalo Bills could stub their foot against Denver. They got a good defense and a scrappy offense. There's a possibility somebody can stub their toe, right?
It's not crazy. Yeah.
I don't see it as likely, but if I had to go through my bracket, I might think about it and get the answer wrong because I thought about it too long. But yeah, no, it's a good question, Mossy. The only thing is that conventional wisdom seems to outweigh sometimes logic in a lot of ways, right?
Yeah, so he brings. I mean, it's a good point. Like, there's never a chance where Buffalo or Kansas City are going to come to Baltimore,
right?
So you're going to have to go on the road there, no matter if you win this game or not. You're going to have to. So the question is, where do you feel more confident in, Jimbo? A home playoff game against Pittsburgh or the Chargers, or a road playoff game against Houston?
Okay, so I guess this is the way that I'd answer this. If I compared this to anything I can understand, because there's other stuff outside of the opponent when it comes to the away game. You're not at home. You have
Silent
a whole
snap count is brutal.
Well, not so. If you think of all the stuff that happens outside the game, it causes emotional stress. Like, you get more tired. I believe that it just takes more out of you. Traveling, going to a relatively unfamiliar place, playing somewhere that's not yours, not being at home, like all those things. So now you're doing that 4 weeks in a row, theoretically. I guess 5 because there's 2 weeks between the Super Bowl. But you're doing that 4 times instead of 3.
Yeah.
So I guess there's something there too, right? It's like a race starting with an uphill or like you get a downhill. You know what I mean? And either way, there's an uphill on the other side, but it's like, do you want to start and then just keep going like that instead of having an opportunity to kind of get some momentum, you know?
Yeah, that's a
I
good.
don't know.
That's a good
It
question,
is
though.
because
Yeah.
what's the risk on the other side?
Yeah, I mean, to me, I might feel better about going on the road to Houston and beating up on them boys again, and rather than staying at home and risking a more difficult opponent. But at the same time, I'm selfish and I want a home playoff game, Jimbo. I like home playoff games. Tom Votto
Yeah.
says we can only finish third or fifth, so there is no 6th seed option, Jimbo. It's only third.
I thought
Or
we just
fifth.
did this. Hold on.
All
Hold
right.
on. I thought we
Let me
just
see.
did this.
Okay,
Now,
we got.
Tom, check me because I swear I thought I would. It makes total sense, but I think we just walked through this and they did flip. Give me a second here. Let's see. Let's switch.
Got to make us lose. Got to make us lose.
Yeah, we've got to lose.
Yeah.
And we'll say that the Chargers lose. And now what happens if this?
Steelers win. Steelers have to win.
Oh yeah,
Knock
Steelers
us
win. See,
out
then
of
we're the
that spot.
fifth.
But he said third or fifth is a possibility, just no 6th. That's
Oh, okay. All right,
Yeah.
that's fair. That's fair. Yeah.
So their only two
Well, third or
choices are
fifth.
host a playoff game or go on
Right.
the road to Houston. That's the only two scenarios. And Tom, we were already kind of discussing
my bad,
this
Tom.
without the question, but it leads I mean, I think only because I'm selfish and want to see the team play at home, I think I'm going to go with the home game. But I feel like the weaker opponent, the easier game is on the road against Houston. I think Houston is a broken team. I don't know what the hell is going on with CJ Stroud. He seems to have regressed. The loss of Tank Dell has crippled their offense, and that Nico Collins is a one-man show that you just have to worry about him. And then to some degree for first down purposes, maybe Dalton Schultz, but not really any explosive guys left on that roster. I think I'd rather feel to play against them, Jimbo. It's crazy.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I think I'm with you. I don't, because now that I'm looking at it, I think that this is the most likely scenario. If we look at this again, I think the most likely scenario is 1, we win. 2, I think the Bengals win.
Yep.
I think the Chargers win. I think the Broncos win. Those are really the 4. And I think Miami wins. Right. Yeah. But I don't even think if Miami wins or loses, it affects us.
So you're saying the most likely outcome is Pittsburgh
don't you think
coming
so?
to Baltimore? Oh, Jimbo, having a Steelers game and in the playoffs? Oh,
right. But
man.
don't you think that that's the most likely scenario?
do.
I'd like to know if you guys in the comments agree or disagree. What do you think?
I think you're right, Jimbo. I can't see anything.
So once again, really quickly to repeat, that would be us winning against the Browns, Pittsburgh losing against the Bengals, and partly because, like you said, Glenn, we will have already played. They will know what's at stake.
Yeah.
Right? If there's anything to play for or not. So Pittsburgh losing to the Bengals, and the Broncos beating the Chiefs, who are going to rest their starters, and Miami beating the Jets, which still doesn't affect us. Whether Miami wins or loses, they can only go after the 7th seed.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. It's a good point Mossy brought up because it's like, okay, do we want Pittsburgh again at home, who at the very least, if we beat, we're going to be in a physical game.
That's true too.
Or do we want to just slap up on the Texans again, dude?
But I said it originally, Jimbo, when I said the Storybook run will be Steelers, Bills, Chiefs, Eagles.
And I swear,
in that order.
I don't know who from national media. Oh, I think it was the dude Broussard.
Chris Broussard with the purple mink.
Yeah. I think that he said, I swear people watch our show, dude, because I think he said what you said almost verbatim. Like it was very close. And I was like, Like I know people have original thoughts, right? Like parallel thinking is true, but
yeah. But it would be too perfect to win that way. Every 12 years, the trend would continue. We'd win every 12. I mean, it's just
to
too
go
many.
through, like you said, and slay the dragon, right? Like you knock off Pittsburgh again, you go to Buffalo, you end up in Kansas City, and wham, wham, wham. You just and then whoever you end up with in the Super Bowl.
Well, I think the Eagles would be perfect because they're the team that beat us already.
Exactly.
So.
Take down the Eagles. Yeah.
Let's write that wrong. Don C says, Jimmy, Glenn, and DK, Happy New Year's. What's it been? 7 years, twice a week. Crazy times flying. It's been 5 years, but yeah, pretty much 3 times a week. Let's not
think about this, Glenn. When we started this show, Camden was 5.
He was 5.
And I had no kids.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like, I didn't even have my house. I wasn't even living here.
I think you had just gotten it, didn't you?
I was in my apartment for a while. And then we started in the fall. I bought my house in May.
Wow.
Yeah.
Look at that. Lots
Yeah.
changed, though.
Dude, it's wild, right?
Yep. Well, appreciate it, Don C, and Happy
Yeah,
New Year
man.
to you and yours as well.
Right. Yeah, that's awesome. So that being said, I'll ask you again, Glenn. What do you prefer?
Dude, I don't know if I want it's the angel and the devil, Jimbo. Like part of me wants the easiest path, and I think the easiest path isn't Pittsburgh. Even though I don't think they're a very good team, I think Houston is the easiest path. And I almost think that the Chargers are even easier than Pittsburgh just because the division matchup, the familiarity.
Yeah, I
And
agree.
let's not forget, even though we beat the brakes off them last, they have beaten us this year.
Yeah,
And
right.
if they get healthy, they have the necessary firepower. I think if we don't play our best, of course, because if we play our best, it doesn't matter. But if we don't play our best, they could be as. But man, you know what? I want the storybook, Jimbo. I want this matchup. We turned down potentially going to a Ravens Steelers game in the thoughts of this exact thing happening. Why go to a Ravens Steelers regular season when we could go to a Ravens Steelers playoff game? I'm going to say that's my most likely, and yeah, that's the one I want. And Doomgoy says this is a once in a lifetime team, Jimbo. Super Bowl or bust. We might have thought that last year too, Doomgoy.
Yeah, no, it's a good point, but man, our team is. It's because Lamar is playing so good. This is a rare offense to watch play football right now. It's just, really, really fun. So I'm with you, Glenn. I mean, I think you know me as a person. I'd probably choose the hard path just because it's just how things go. Might as well choose it if that's how things end up anyway, right?
There you go.
You're just making a conscious choice,
That's right.
So you just lean into it. I love it, man. I absolutely love it. Now let's talk really quickly, Glenn, before we kind of, wind things down. Let's talk about what we think will happen, both on the NFC and the AFC side. So let's walk through this, right? All right.
Can we do the playoff matchups too?
So I don't think that we can on here. There might be, let's see if we, okay, hold on. No, let's do let me do a playoff.
See if you can find one. I'll knock it. And thanks, Doomgo. I appreciate your super chat. Let's get to Bragging Rights Sports says, I smell a home Sunday night game next week if we beat the Browns. Knowing that NBC got denied in week 6 of coming here, I don't see it happening again. Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see what time slot they put them in. I think if it's a Steelers-Ravens matchup, it should be whatever the most prime time matchup is. That game is going to be absolutely insane to hype that up. But of course, Jimbo, if it's a Harbaugh Bowl, I can see the advertisements now. Like people are going to eat that up if it's another Harbaugh Bowl. And not only just that connection, but the incredible amount of players and coaches and staff members that have come from Baltimore and went over to LA to play and coach for the Chargers. I think that would be a really cool matchup. I think if we end up somehow losing and going to Houston, we're going to get the worst time slot no matter what because of Houston, because nobody gives a shit about the Houston Texans and Baltimore being a smaller market. Although Lamar Jackson has brought more eyes to this team than I think, anyone could have imagined when you talk about the national, the national outlook on this team. He's brought the star power. There's no doubt about it. So that would be I think you're right. I think if it's the Steelers, I think it's Sunday night. Why not?
Yeah, no, I think it'll be a lot of fun. I'm struggling here to find a active bracket. If you guys have one, let us know.
Well, go ahead and keep looking. I'm gonna get through. We got Brandon Humble, next super chat. Appreciate it, Brandon. He says, "Nah, man, win the division, get the home playoff game against the Chargers. You need an appetizer before the Buffalo main meal." So, what's your thoughts on that kind of aspect, Jimbo? Like, do you think it is beneficial to tune up with maybe even a slightly more difficult matchup, knowing that those difficult games are coming right after that?
Yeah, it's hard because I can follow the logic of both. But I guess if it were just on me, I want the path that's going to get me the most prepared for the next challenge. So I think I agree with him.
And I think that's a good point because this isn't a team that's going to look at it as a success getting to the division round, getting to the AFC championship. That's not a success. That might be a success for the Chargers. The Chargers getting to an AFC championship game in Harbaugh's first year, massive success, right? Like crazy. But the Ravens only look at this season as a success, as a bare minimum, is making the Super Bowl. That's the only way you've advanced further than last year. And then, of course, winning is the ultimate success. But I think anything you can do to prepare to get you to that ultimate goal, that's the only way you look at this as any bit of a win. So I think Brandon makes a good point. I think you do have to do whatever it takes to get over the hump that is the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game, because we know that's what it's going to take. And if this is what it is, then let's do it.
I think
let's see here.
Fingers crossed. Keep going. Sorry.
Yeah, you're good. Antonio Smith says, y'all see Lamar's presser? Man is locked in. He is absolutely locked in right now. You are so right about that. Jimmy said it. It's crazy. This guy has taken his game to a ridiculous level, a level we've never seen. And it's pretty cool when you watch the vets, especially the ones that aren't haters. It's crazy how like vets become haters to younger generations. You see it more in basketball, which somebody brought up a good point, Jimbo. I wanted to get a quick side note. I heard this and it took me back a little. I had to sit and think about it. NBA on TNT, everyone loves it. It's everyone's favorite show. We love Barkley. I love me some Charles Barkley. He's hilarious. He's unfiltered. And his connection with Shaq, Ernie, and Kenny, I think is amazing. But I heard someone say that show has done more harm to the NBA than it has good. And even with all the awards, because he talked about how the old guys like to just trash the younger generation of players, trash the way they load management, the way they insult, they talk about how this modern NFL or NBA could never compete with the old school guys. Do you believe in that theory that some of these old guys that always hate on the next generation, say these guys are soft, they have no toughness? Do you think that has hurt the NBA and maybe that's some of the reason why the ratings are down for the NBA this year?
I don't think, I guess that is a point. That is a fair point because it's the way I view the game now, but I don't know if it's much as just because they're saying it, it's just like, it's what I see. I'll tell you what hurts the most for me is that it's the clearly self-interested majority where like guys don't want to be part of a team anymore. They want to be they want to be collective individuals that do something, right? Like it's not team. There's no roles. And like, I don't know if that makes sense, but it's not like you have these guys that like, remember the Pistons back in the day? Like they were the best 5 that you could assemble.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they weren't the best group of individuals,
right?
But they were a really good team. Like I feel like we missed that. But that to your point, to your question though, yeah, I could see how that could be damaging, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
I never thought of it till it was brought up, but I think that is a good point. Let me see here. Antonio, said, he is locked in. Sorry, we already read that. Appreciate it, Antonio. Appreciate the super chat. Hope you're having a good new year.
This is the best I got here, Glenn. Oh, do you have another super chat?
I got some more. Yeah, I got some more.
Okay, cool. All right, let me see if I can find something else. Keep going.
All right, cool. All right, Massey goes on to say, are you nervous or excited for the playoffs? I believe Ravens best team. However, on the day, can they play like the most? I think what he's saying is they might be the best team, but they don't always play like the best team. And certainly any given Sunday is a cliche for a reason. The Ravens could lose to any of these teams. They could also absolutely destroy any of these teams. It's just a question of which team shows up, which game plan shows up, because we've also seen, the Ravens coaching staff come together with a game plan that's been absolutely dominant and sensational. And then we've seen game plans where it's like, what the hell are we doing? And we simply ruin the game or lose the game before it's ever even played. But part of me wonders that oftentimes, Massey, is it nervous or excited? Because even when I played sports when I was younger, I almost was just, it's like part of me in certain ways when expectations were super high, I was more relieved than happy when I would win. Like more just like, oh, thank God we didn't let it down, like let everybody down. We didn't disappoint. We lived up to the expectations. Not even that I was happy, just relieved. Just the nervousness went away. The sigh of relief is more so what I got. And so, yeah, I'm like, I don't know if I'm excited or more nervous because I don't want it to end like it did last year, where a team that was so damn good just played so damn bad for one day and let something kind of slip through their fingertips. I'm nervous about that. But I'm also excited about the opportunity to shut up and silence all the haters and doubters that have followed
100%.
this team for a long time.
And all of that is what you live for. The
Mm-hmm.
nervousness and the excitement and dude, I hate that because I feel like I let the nerves. The problem is I feel like the problem with us as fans is that we experience that nervousness the entire game. I feel like as a player or as a competitor, I don't know if it's the same for you, Glenn, but it's always like that until the whistle blows. And then as soon as you just get in the rhythm of it, it just, for me at least, the nerves go away. You just lock in and it is just like everything else. But as fans, we don't have that experience.
No.
Whistle, you know what I mean? We're not up there catching a football or throwing a pass or tackles. We have to experience that the whole time. And then we score, like Messi said, it's like, oh.
But then there are moments then towards the end of the game, especially in high pressure moments where timeouts are called, you get a chance to think about it, where the nerves come back, Jimbo. They don't just disappear forever, you know.
What? Oh, yes, absolutely. That's absolutely true. But even still, when you got sweat coming down your brow and everything else, and you're in
so
it,
focused.
It's so much different than the morning of.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Where it's like I can't eat anything. I can't.
Yeah, I'm sitting on the toilet all morning,
yeah,
dude. I'm dry heaving pregame, dude, because my throat's so dry. I remember that.
Anytime I go to a race that I'm not familiar with, I figure out where the closest gas station is with a decent bathroom is.
Smart.
So that way I can hit the gas station and still be able to make it to the start line with time because I know I'm going to be in there right every time, dude. Whatever I eat doesn't matter. I'm on the toilet. Just
that's right.
TMI, ladies and gentlemen, but it's how it goes. All right. So I think I figured this out, Glenn. I think this is actually a pretty cool one here. Can you see my screen?
Oh, shoot. Let me see here. Did I just unstar the last one? There it goes. Yeah. I can see your screen. Yes.
Okay, cool. Now I'm gonna zoom in, but
yes, please.
So what we can do here, we can simulate. If you see here, so it gives us an option. What do you want to simulate? The remaining. Let's see. Actually, I think before we simulate, we can pick the winners here.
Yeah,
okay,
pick the winners. There we go.
Okay.
Oh, I like that. It just generates a score. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, exactly. So
hold on. You picked Pittsburgh to win.
No, I'm not going to though. I just clicked on one to make sure that's what we could do. So let's run through these winners really quickly. Just to make sure we are all on the same page. So the big one right now is that we have Cincy winning. That's the big one.
Okay, go ahead.
Let's see here. Tampa Bay. We'll take Houston, Arizona, Denver, Miami.
I like that.
All right. Now I'm gonna hit simulate.
Okay.
Whatever. All remaining league games because the rest of it doesn't. Okay. Now can you still see my screen? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So now you see the lineups that we were talking about.
Yes. Yeah? Yes.
All right.
Everything.
Cool.
Yes.
All right. So let's walk through this. Let's start at the top.
All right.
I mean, common sense says Buffalo wins. Do you disagree?
Yeah. I don't disagree. I think that is correct. Just want to quickly. DDSQ says, "What's good, y'all?" I agree. The NFL would not allow their top broadcast show to trash.
That's true too.
It's the only sport that does it. I don't see a lot of veterans in any other league call the next generation soft, and it's just crazy, man. It's kind of weird. And I love those guys, trust me. But when it was pointed out, I'm like, they're making good points there. Appreciate DDSQ. Appreciate it.
All right, so we'll take the Ravens to win the next one.
Yeah.
And we'll take the Chargers to win?
Yes.
Yeah, I agree. Okay. So then let's go over here real quick. I'm taking Eagles.
Yeah, I'm taking the Eagles there, even though the Green Bay's good.
What about here?
Ooh,
I'm taking the Rams based on experience.
The pedigree. Yeah, the pedigree, but I wouldn't be shocked at all if the Commies win that.
And the Vikings, right?
Yep, I'm taking the Vikings there too.
All right, so let's move on back to the AFC.
Look at Sam Darnold back in the playoff, second round, bro. Good for you, Sammy.
Seriously, dude. No kidding. Okay, so the Chiefs. Dude, I tell you what, remember I talked about this even now. They didn't win the division.
Man.
But
man.
Dude, could you imagine Jim Harbaugh pulls this off?
Oh, God.
But we have to pick the Chiefs.
Helping out his brother. Yeah, you got to pick the Chiefs, man. Got to.
Okay, picking the Chiefs.
But how sweet would this shit be if the Ravens go to north to Buffalo and pants Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bilskis in their own backyard? I'd love it. I'd love it. You better click the other button, Jimbo. You better click the other button.
Yeah, my bad.
Blasphemy.
Yeah, seriously. What about here? Rematch?
Ooh.
I say whoever won the last game loses this game.
Well, you picked the Vikings to win the last one.
Yeah, so then they win, and here is what it would end up being.
I think that's how it's going to be. And I think in that matchup, the Lions will do Lions things and they'll blow that game.
Yep.
I think that's what
I
think
the
know
problem
is
that right, and I think the Eagles are going to be too physical for the Lions.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
offensively against their defense.
And the injuries have just mounted
piled up
for
them.
Detroit. It's like, gosh,
dude,
another
how good
guy.
is Gibbs though?
Oh, he's crazy. But losing Montgomery was devastating.
Huge.
That guy, monster.
Yeah. So this is what we think. And let's just pick the winner now.
Yeah, I like that. That's right.
Let's go,
let the confetti fall. Yeah, Dominic, it's bullcrap is what it is. Dominic says, not sure if you already discussed, but why do the Steelers get to play after us on Saturday? They can rest their starters when we win. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't make sense why the NFL decided to do this. It in no way it doesn't help the Ravens. It only hurts the Ravens. They have to play, all the way. It's silly. At the very least, if the NFL wanted to make it fair, they should have made both the teams play at the identical time. Like,
how funny would it be if John did just give the league the middle finger, rest his starters, and say, F it, we're going to Houston.
That would be nice.
You know what I mean? Just to say, you guys figure it out, Steelers and Bengals.
Make them play their starters.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you guys figure it out. We're not doing it because we'll go anywhere. You know what I mean?
That would be kind of a boss move, Jimbo.
I know.
I like that. That.
I'd be tempted to do that.
Dude, that would be the ultimate, your move. That would be all over ESPN. They'd be talking about, that would be crazy. That's not a bad... Because the worst thing that can happen is we go to Houston, right? That's the worst.
The absolute worst.
They stink.
Right. Right. Yeah, because John feels like, dude, I can stay at home. I can roll up anywhere. He's got to feel like that with his squad right now.
And just to know that it's not like this is costing us future play. It's only one playoff game at home.
Right. 100%. And who knows? Maybe after we win that game, if the Broncos end up pulling it off, we're back at home anyway.
That's a good point. No, the Broncos would then go to...
Oh, I guess that's true. Well, no, then we'd be at home. The Chargers play against who?
The Chiefs.
No, in the first round. Oh. How would that work?
Well, you have the simulator up.
Oh, right. So whoever wins... Oh, gosh, I'm confusing myself. I think it would be against the Chargers and the Steelers then, right? If we're playing Houston, Chargers and Steelers. And then we'd have to go to Pittsburgh, technically.
Oh, that's right.
There is a catch-22 to this.
Whoo!
Yeah. But if Buffalo wins...
Well, but Tanja's saying if we rest and if we sit our starters and lose, we won't win the division. Well, we will if the Bengals still win.
Yeah.
We can lose if the Bengals win and the Steelers still lose. It doesn't matter. And I don't think anybody would be shocked to see the Bengals beat the Steelers, especially the state of the Steelers right now. They're a mess.
Exactly.
Can still beat Browns if the starters sit. Yeah, you're right, Nathan. I mean, you're right. Especially,
that's true.
The Browns are clearly playing for draft position by benching Jameis Winston because there's no way anyone in that building thinks that Dorian Thompson-Robinson gives him a better chance to win than Jameis Winston. There is he was so bad last week. It was hard to watch. Absolute guard. I mean, Jameis is likely going to throw it to the other team, probably more than once, but he'll also likely throw it down the field and get 300 yards passing and a couple scores of his own.
Yeah, and some dots.
Right. At least give your team, have fun, have some hope. You don't even have fun with Dorian Thompson-Robinson playing for you. It's just what the hell are we doing? But yeah, I mean, let's see here. They can, it's bullcrap, Dominic. To your point, it's absolute BS that they did that to us. Stupid. And they made us play 3 games in 11 days. By the way, won all 3 of them.
Zapp is playing? Is that going to be the starting quarterback? Yeah, he used to play for the Patriots, right?
Is he playing? Okay. Yeah, he did.
Oh, man, I'm eating a Baconator.
Oh, it's right. We didn't even get into that.
We'll get into that tomorrow night, I'm sure.
We got a lot to get into with this game. I mean, it couldn't be any more perfect. That 1 sack remaining, 1 game remaining, all is on the line, Jimbo. Your belly, my legs. That's how it's going. That's right.
Oh, gosh. Anyway, Well, on that note, I think that's it for us tonight.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to see how these playoffs turn out. I know that you guys, I know Glenn is as well. I know you guys should be as well at home. I'm excited to get into this game as a whole. We're talking about this Browns matchup. We'll assume they're going to play the starters because I think that's the most likely scenario. And hopefully, Glenn, what ends up happening is we score 2-3 times, at the beginning of the game, and then we're able to cruise from there,
I like that idea. That's probably the most likely outcome is we won't be seeing our starters in the second half. But guys, don't forget, tomorrow night, just one day, 24 hours, and we're back for another show to get this game previewed and get you all excited and get ready for it. And then, of course, back here for the post game right after the game on Saturday. But can't wait to get to it. But that's it for us tonight. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow. See you.